Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing part 4 and hopefully the conclusion to the Star Wars character tier list that I've been working on. It's been a fun process, but definitely lengthy. As you can see, it's lasted 4 episodes, maybe even more, depending on if I'm able to get through all these characters. But yeah, we just finished up the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy, and we are now moving into Rebels and Rogue One, and then the original trilogy, The Mandalorian, and the sequels. So yeah, we should be rounding it out this episode, hopefully. I don't really want to go into a part 5, so this episode may be a little bit longer. But yeah, let's just dive right on in and try and knock out these last characters. So next up, we have Zeb from Rebels, and like I said, the other Rebels characters, they all went in A tier, and Zeb is no different. He was probably the one to grow on me the longest. It took him the longest to grow on me. Similar to Wrecker, he kind of started out just as the big dumb muscle in the group, but definitely grew as a character. Wedgie Antilles, an underrated character I feel in the Star Wars saga, definitely A tier. I would say borderline S tier just because for me Wedge has been one of my favorite characters. You know what? I will put Wedge in S tier. He's one of the original characters who was able to survive all the main battles, even through the sequel trilogy. And I just have always liked Wedge, and I feel he's a bit underrated. So Wedge Antilles goes to S tier. Cassian Andor, probably my favorite character in Rogue One, aside from possibly Director Krennic. But yeah, Cassian is definitely A tier for me. Excited for his show. Then we have Admiral Constantine from Rebels. He was an idiot, kind of annoying, but he was voiced by D. Bradley Baker, who voiced all the clone troopers. But I'll put him in C tier. He's quite an idiot and rather annoying, but he ultimately pays for it. Then we have Sabine's father. I think Ulrich Wren is his name. Don't really feel highly one way or the other on him, so I'll put him in C tier. And actually, I think Constantine make it D tier. As Morgan, F tier. I cannot stand him. This guy was annoying in the show. The Bendu, a bit of a strange character. One of those who kind of is like maybe too powerful, maybe too out there. But I'll put him in B tier. He's a different, like a very unique character in that he's very powerful, but in the middle of the Force. Like he's not light or dark. So interesting character who goes into B tier. Then we have Director Krennic, who I mentioned. He's probably my favorite character in Rogue One, so I'll put him in A tier. Not quite S tier. He's definitely one of my favorite Star Wars villains, and especially for the newer era of Star Wars content. Then we have Cal Kestis, which a word on Fallen Order. I've never actually played it, but I know the story. I know the general gist of each character and their story. And Cal Kestis I could easily see moving up to A tier, but for now I'm going to just put him in B tier because I don't know quite as much perhaps that I should, but he could go up to A tier easily, I think. But just for what I know, he'll go to B tier. Then we have Seer, another character who probably would go up if I follow the story. But from what I know, I like her less than Cal, so I'll put her in C tier. But like I said, these could change if I played the game. So yeah, then we have Chopper, who's the only one I consider putting in B tier because he is a bit annoying at times, but he's also a memorable character from Rebels. I think I will put Chopper in B tier. Not quite A tier material for me, but yeah. Then we have Cicatro Vizago. Didn't really like him early in the show, but he kind of grew as the show went on and his character developed, but he'll wind up in C tier. The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, definitely A tier at the least. Potentially S tier, but right now I'll put him in A tier. I don't think he's quite S tier for me, but yeah, not quite S tier. He goes in A tier though. Then we have the is this Doom, the leader of the Lothwolves. There's like all the mystical elements to the Loth Wolves, and it's like, is this Kanan his resurrected reincarnation as a wolf? I'll put him in A tier because the mystical elements of it are very intriguing to me, and wolves are my favorite animals, so yeah, goes to A tier. Then we have the 8th brother. This was the Inquisitor that introduced the helicopter lightsabers. He didn't really do too much. Kind of a strange character. I'll put him in D tier. Don't like him as much as the other Inquisitors, which even they aren't too high on the list. Then we have Galen Erso. I'll put him in B tier. Not quite as high as Cassian, but he is a good character, I feel. And nice to get some backstory on the Death Star. Then we have Finn Rowell. He's a Mandalorian, so that alone is good in his favor. And he's a pretty good character. I'll put him in B tier. The 5th brother, I do not really like the 5th brother, so he'll go in D tier with the 8th brother. Governor Price, she's one of those villains that's kind of annoying, and it makes sense. She'll go to C tier for me. General Dodona, I feel like if his character was more developed, like, he doesn't really have a huge role, but he could be developed into a B plus tier character, but for now, he'll go to C tier. Jyn Erso, I like Jyn, and I think she will go to A tier. She's a cool character introduced in Rogue One. Then we have, what's her name? I was literally just saw her in Rebels the other day because I rewatched a couple episodes of that. What is her name? Ketsu Anya, the bounty hunter who is a friend of Sabine's from her younger years when she was a bounty hunter. She was a decent character. I don't remember being like too highly on her one way or the other, so kind of indifferent. She will go to C tier. Lando Calrissian, a classic character. Tempted to put S tier, but I also feel like he's kind of in the same line as these characters all here. Very good characters, but not quite the best of the best. So, I'm torn because he's such a nostalgic character. This is a difficult decision. It's gonna go S tier. No, I'm gonna put Lando in A tier. I really do like Lando though, and I'm excited for his show. And just a great character in pretty much every piece of content he appears in TV, movies, games, whatever. Very good character. Then we have the White Loth Wolf, which, similar to the Great Loth Wolf, or Doom, I can't remember what they're called. He's a wolf, very mysterious and cool looking. Goes to A tier. Then we have Lyra Erso, kind of indifferent, just because we don't really get to see much of her. I know she's in Catalyst, the novel, substantially. So reading that would maybe boost her on the list. Minister Tua. She's kind of annoying, I feel, and then her arc got cut short when she was assassinated in Season 1, so I'll put her in D tier. Not really too high on her one way or the other. Then we have Matten. He was... I feel like the Iron Squadron characters are kind of overhated a bit, but I don't think he's quite B tier. I don't hate him. I'm not like super crazy about him either. So he did get kind of a expanded role in Season 4, but AP5, I liked AP5. He will go to B tier. He was not like overly annoying, but he had some C-3PO kind of qualities. Next up is Paz Vizsla, who he looks cool, and he does do a bit. I put him in B tier. I don't like him quite as much as other people seem to, just because he doesn't really do too much, and he seems like kind of a jerk in his appearances, but B tier is where he goes. Agent Kallus, definitely A tier. And it's just some characters like I could easily put in S tier, like Callus, Lando, Din Djarin, Kanan. Some of these Clone Wars and prequel characters all could go to S tier, but I want to reserve that for my personal favorite characters, so not just every character that I really like. That's what A tier is for. Yeah, Agent Callus, Alexander Callus, I guess he's not an agent anymore, goes to A tier. The Grand Inquisitor, really liked him, but he didn't really get an expanded role. I feel like if we got to know more about him and he didn't die in the first season of Rebels, he would probably go higher, but for now, he will settle in B tier. Then we have Quarry. The name based off Ralph McQuarrie, who developed the concept art for Star Wars. He's the Mon Calamari who helped develop, I think, the B-Wing in Star Wars Rebels. I remember being an alright character, but don't really remember going too far one way or the other for him. Bodhi Rook. Bodhi and Baze are kind of the Rogue One characters I was not really strong one way or the other for. I'll put him in B tier. He's just kind of a bland character, I feel. Never really did too much. But he did enough where he's not like C tier or anything. Rook was a cool character, but he didn't have a huge role in Star Wars Rebels either. Like, he was just kind of the muscle bad guy who went around and fought the good guys. So it wasn't like he was a huge threat where you were worried he might kill someone, even though he was kind of dangerous at some points. But he'll go to B tier. Ryder Zadi, he was a decent character, but I'll put him in C tier. Commander Sato, I liked Commander Sato in Rebels. He'll go to B tier. Then we have, is that the second sister? Yep. From the story I've seen of her, she's similar to Cal. Could go higher, but I'll put her in B tier for now. Don't hate her. I feel like, based off the story, she kind of seems like a kind of character that we have seen a similar story to before, but I don't know. This is the seventh sister, C tier. I like her more than these two Inquisitors, but not quite as much as the Grand Inquisitor or the second sister. So she goes to C tier. Grogu, definitely A tier. Not just because he's adorable, but I really like the bond between him and Din Djarin in The Mandalorian, and he's become a central cornerstone character of Star Wars. The armor, I like the armor, but I feel like if we get more story with her, she could go up higher, but for now she has to be in B tier. Tiber Saxon, so this is, he was a Mandalorian, but he kind of just seemed like a character that was created because they killed off Gar Saxon and they needed a Mandalorian villain. It's like, let's pull him in. Like, they could have brought Rook Cast back or something. So I feel like he's kind of just a bland, again, just a character that was created to be a villain because they didn't really have anyone else because they killed them all off. So yeah. Then we have Tristan Wren, Sabine's brother. I'll put him in B tier, similar to Ursa Wren. We get to have some cool moments with him and Sabine, but not a huge player. Oh, this guy, is it Sibo, the Rhodian who was friends with Ezra? I liked him in his appearances in Star Wars Rebels. I'll put him in B tier. Baze Malbus, I'll put him in B tier. I don't like him quite as much as Chirrut, but I do like him more than Bodhi. But he'll be in B tier. Then is this Chief Chirpa? I'm pretty sure. The Ewoks all kind of are similar to me. And I don't hate the Ewoks like some people do. I don't really get why they're hated. Chief Chirpa will go to B tier. This guy, I'm not sure who this is. I know it's a pawn. Pound, however you say the name, from Utapau. I don't know who this guy is, so I'll put him in TBD. This is the Jedi from the Fallen Order comic books that came out. don't know anything about him, so I will not make a predetermined judgment on him. Foden Bead, kind of annoying. Not quite F tier annoying, but they are pretty annoying. This is pretty sure his name is Grease. Believe that's his name. Let me make sure. Yes, Grease Dridus. I think that's how you say his last name. The pilot in Fallen Order, similar to Cal and where's she at? The second sister. I could see him going up to follow the story. He just seemed to be kind of a funny character, kind of like reminds me of Rocket Raccoon. I don't know. It may be completely off base, but that's who he kind of reminded me of in Fallen Order. BD1, again, whoops, where did he go? Oh, right there. Similar to Cal and them, like, I could easily see all these characters shifting, going either up or down as I follow their story. So, I'll probably have to play Fallen Order at some point and determine my thoughts on each character. So, but yeah, that's for now. Jared to Paul, same thing. B tier. All these Fallen Order characters, like, I have seen their stories, and I feel like they're pretty good characters, but I just don't know too much about them. Don't know who that guy is. Here's the Geonosian. I think his name, they called him Click Clack, the Geonosian, the last one who had the Queen's Egg. I like this character. I feel like he kind of added an emotional aspect that you may not have really expected with the Geonosis arc in Star Wars Rebels, where you kind of feel bad for him, and like he's just wanting to protect the last of his kind, but Saw Gerrera wants them eliminated. But yeah, Logray, I like Logray, but he'll have to go the same tier as Chief Chirpa. They kind of blend together like other characters or other Ewoks. Juno Eclipse. Now, unpopular opinion, but I feel like The Force Unleashed is maybe a little overrated. I've played the games before, but I just feel like the story is, or that it's a little overrated. Like the story, I never really found that intriguing. But the characters, I do like the characters a decent amount. Juno will go to B tier though, not quite A tier. Maris Brood. From what I remember, she was kind of annoying. She'll go to C tier. Starkiller will go to A tier. I did like Starkiller, and Sam Witwer is a integral part of Star Wars. Hey, all three of his characters got A tier: Maul, Palpatine, and Starkiller. Chirrut, definitely one of my favorite characters in Rogue One. He goes A tier. Then we have Mirren. Similar to the other characters, could see her going higher after playing Fallen Order. So, this character, though, I feel like is kind of annoying from what I've seen of her. So, yeah, I put her in C tier just because I don't know too much about the story. But, yeah. Then this person, are they from Force Unleashed, or is that Old Republic something? I can't remember. I don't know who that is. Proxy, I like Proxy, but not quite A tier. He goes to B tier with Juno. Rom Koda, I know people like him, but I don't know, he's kind of like Quinlan Voss to me, where a little bit more of a jerk of a Jedi instead of being a likable kind of character. But I understand the appeal with him, so he will go to B tier, but I don't think he's quite as good as other characters. Tyrann Malicos, another, again, I feel like I should just put every Fallen Order character to B tier at this point. More Ewoks. This dude, not sure who he is, but he's an Ewok. He'll go to B tier with the other ones. Wicket is the lone Ewok that gets above, and he goes to A tier. A classic character. Luke Skywalker. There's only one place for Luke Skywalker on any Star Wars character tier list, and that is S tier. If you think he should not be S tier, I don't know what to tell you. IG-11. I like IG-11 quite a bit. He goes to... A tier or B tier? B tier. I don't think he's quite A tier, but I do like him a lot. Forlom. If we got more from Forlom, he could go higher, but for now I'm kind of indifferent about him and Zuckuss whenever we get to him. Not sure where he's at. Admiral Piet. I like Admiral Piet. Pretty decent villain. Side villain in the original trilogy. He goes to A tier. I just went all the way past the list. Cara Dune. Cara Dune, like, I feel like her character, like, had potential, and unfortunately it seems like we will not be getting more of her character, at least in The Mandalorian. But I don't know, she was never quite A tier for me, but I'm not gonna put her in, like, down low because of what the actress said. Like, it made a bad analogy, but what can you do? Cara Dune goes to B tier. Don't hate the character, but I also don't think she's, like, one of the greatest characters in the show. She goes to B tier. Then we have General Veers. We don't really get to explore General Veers too much, even in expanded material. So he could go to A tier if we learn more about him. And I know in Legends, like, he has more of a history, but I'm kind of trying to base this more on canon, because that's what I am more familiar with in certain areas. General Tag was pretty annoying. He goes to D tier. Han Solo. Han, Luke, and Leia are 3 characters. They all belong in S tier. Like, I don't know how they could be otherwise. We'll go ahead and move Leia up here as well. They all are S tier. I don't know what else you would want me to put them at. IG-88 is pretty cool. Not quite A tier for me, but he definitely is B tier. Then this is, I think, Major List, perhaps, from Star Wars Rebels. He was a decent side character, but didn't really have a huge role. Lobot, he's cool, but he doesn't have a huge role. He'll go to B tier. Moff Jared. I really like this character, and the deleted scenes shed more light on him and made him more of a sympathetic character because he showed more care for his men and was very loyal to the Empire, or to the Emperor specifically. Like, he even stood in Vader's face and said, no, you can't go in there, and then he got choked. But that was all deleted scenes from Return of the Jedi. I do like him, but he'll go to B tier. He didn't have a substantial role in Return of the Jedi. Admiral Ozzel, similar to Tag, he's annoying and arrogant. Darth Vader, again, another character, no debate, S tier. Grief Karga, similar to Cara Dune, not enough to push him into A tier so far, but he is in B tier. Nine Numb. I know Nine Numb has kind of become like a meme character, but I'll put him in A tier. He is a classic character. Unfortunate that he died in The Rise of Skywalker. Another character like Admiral Ackbar, which he didn't, at least Admiral Ackbar was acknowledged that he died. Nine Numb is debated for months after the movie came out. Did he die or no? And I'm honestly surprised that he did, because I figured he would have, he wouldn't have died from that, but oh well. Moff Gideon is a interesting character, and there could have been interesting alternatives in The Mandalorian Season 2, which I may do a video on that because it's something I would like to talk about, is an interesting alternative that could have happened as the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian instead of what we got, which I thought they were about to go that route, but they didn't, and I'm a little disappointed, but I also love the ending that we got. But yeah, Moff Gideon, definitely A tier. He and Din Djarin could go to S tier based on how their characters play out. It's just right now, since they're so new, I don't really want to put them quite in S tier. But yeah, he goes to A tier. The Client, he was alright. He didn't have a huge role, and he got killed off rather quickly. He'll go to C tier. Here's Warwick Davis, his character. Trying to remember his name. It starts with a W because all his characters' names start with W, but he didn't really have a huge role. But it's Warwick Davis. He'll go to C tier. Will Rowe Hood. He's a meme character because he has the ice cream maker. I don't really get the like I get he's a meme, and I'm assuming that's where most of the what a great character comes from. But yeah, he's a background character. Then we have Zuckuss, similar to Forlom. He falls into C tier. It'd be nice to get them in some expanded roles at some point. K2SO, a great character from Rogue One. Yet again, he goes to A tier. Admiral Raddus, I really liked him. The question is he quite A tier material? I don't think so. I think he'll go to B tier. Dr. Evazan, kind of annoying, ugly, doesn't have a huge role, but his expanded storyline outside of the movies is interesting, and the fact that he helped create like the zombie kind of undead servants for Crimson Dawn and Dryden Voss is cool. And for that, I think but does that push him? No, not quite a B tier. He'll stay in the C tier. It would be cool to get him and Panda Baba again in some story down the line, but yeah, for now, gonna settle for C tier. General Draven, he was a bit annoying. Not really annoying, but somewhat of a jerk in Rogue One. But I guess you got to look at it and understand the severity or intensity of the situation. So I'd see that and understand it. So he'll get a C tier. His story is expanded and ultimately concluded in the comics because he dies. But yeah, then we have one of the two tubes. I know there's Idrio and Benthic. I'm not sure which one this is. But regardless, they'd both go to B tier. I thought they were both cool characters. So, B tier. Minister Hyden. He's one of the Imperial dignitaries who was in Star Wars Rebels. He was a cool, interesting character. It would be cool to see more of him and the other dignitaries because they're heavily involved in the dark side, but they're just regular guys who are doing research and like archaeology expeditions and stuff. So it would be cool to get more of him. For now, he'll settle in B tier. Oh, Lady Proxima. Weird character. Ugly character. She goes to D tier. General Maydeen, with the beard. This character, background, he goes to C tier. He didn't have a huge role. But background, Admiral Ackbar is supposed to have pretty much his role and Maydeen's role combined into one. But then they the creators, like George Lucas and everybody involved, were like, would the audience really like it if a fish guy was the commander? So they split the screen time between Ackbar and Maydeen, not Nadine. But then Kenner, when they released the action figure, had him with a beard. So to make it accurate, they went back and reshot the scenes and just gave the actor a fake beard. So cool background information. But regardless, he goes to C tier. L3, I don't hate her as much as other people do, but I also don't really love her. She's a little obnoxious and annoying, but she goes to C tier. Don't hate her. Kind of just indifferent in the middle. Pow, I think he was a cool character, but he doesn't do a whole lot. Similar to Bistan, I'm assuming we'll get Bistan. Maybe not. I don't see him anywhere. Moloch doesn't really do too much. He goes to C tier. Moroff is a cool looking character. He looks like a white fuzzy Wookiee. He go to B tier. He looks pretty cool, but he doesn't really do anything at all. Panda Baba, similar to Dr. Evzan, a nostalgic Star Wars character, but nothing too crazy about him. He'll go to C tier. Then we have this guy, I can't remember his name, but one of Saw Gerrera's aliens. I'll do C tier and be fair. There's nothing like that makes me go, ooh, I don't like you. Miggs Mayfeld. Again, he's similar to Grief Karga and Cara Dune. I like him as a character, and he adds an interesting dynamic to the show. Again, another character from The Mandalorian for B tier, Fennec Shand. She could go up, potentially based on how her character is handled and developed in The Bad Batch and the Book of Boba Fett. So, excited to see her show up in more stories. Q90. That is his, I'm pretty sure that's his number. The droid, this is, him and Mayfeld are the only ones I really liked from that Bounty Hunter crew. So, he goes to B tier as well. Then we have the other ones. This guy, what's his name? Can't remember his name now. The big Deveronian, Borg or something like that. I could not stand this guy. He was extremely annoying. D tier. Then, the girl from the village in that one Mandalorian episode, the one that introduced Cara Dune. Indifferent. Again, she goes to C tier. What's her name? Pelimato. I found this character to be slightly annoying and a little, I don't know, didn't really feel quite true to Star Wars, but I don't hate the character. Just another one I'm indifferent on. She'll go to C tier. Dr. Pershing, again, C tier. The cloning aspect is interesting, and he could go higher depending on how they advance that, but yeah. He'll go to D tier. Quinn, don't really like him. Toro Calican, he's annoying. Shion, same. These characters, The Mandalorian, there's a couple episodes there it's like, why are we introducing these annoying side characters? Now, get to the fun part, the sequel trilogy. Now, I know there are people who hate on the sequel trilogy just for being the sequel trilogy, and I'm not one of those people. There are problems I have with the movies, but they're Star Wars, and I enjoy them for the parts that they have that I like, and the parts that I'm not too crazy about, then, hey, I'm not too crazy about. So, yeah, Rey. I don't hate Rey. Yes, I understand that her character has powers that, okay, where did she get it from? It's not explained. It's eventually explained she's related to Emperor Palpatine, one of the most powerful Force beings in the galaxy. So, I don't hate Rey. I actually like the character, and she'll go to A tier. I'm excited to see where they take her in the future. Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. My favorite character from the sequel trilogy, and definitely deserving, I think, of S tier with how they shaped the character. I know he didn't really get the story that people may have wanted. They wanted things to go differently and him not be redeemed, but I like it for the character. And he's like a mirror image of Anakin. And I know, again, that goes back to the repeating of the story in the sequel trilogy, but I still enjoy the character. Then we have Aftab Ackbar, Admiral Ackbar's son. Cool character. Wish we could get more of him. I'm sure we will. I'm just ready for them to release books and stuff that expand the story from episode 9 so we get to see where the characters wind up. That's what I'm hoping for, and he'd be a character I'd like to get more of. Admiral Holdo. I understand the hate for her, unwillingness to give Poe any kind of information on her plan. But apart from that, I don't really dislike the character. She'll go to C tier. Supreme Leader Snoke is interesting because the mystery and intrigue with him that was set up in The Force Awakens was kind of all thrown away when he was killed in The Last Jedi. And then we just find out he's just a failed clone of Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker. So for that, he'll go to C tier. I feel like he was one of those characters that his potential was kind of wasted in the sequel trilogy. But yeah, and the fact that he's not like a unique character, he's just a clone, like one of many puppets, basically, is a little upsetting. Captain Phasma, a character who had extreme potential that just was abandoned in Force Awakens, didn't have much of a role, and killed off in The Last Jedi, which I'm still trying to figure out. Is it ever confirmed? Is she alive or dead? I'm not sure. Phasma, like, is a character with wasted potential, but I know her backstory from the Phasma book is interesting, and I think she has the potential to rise up and be a better character still. So I'm hoping we were able to get an animated series similar to the Clone Wars or Rebels that fleshes out the timeline of this era. More so than Resistance. Resistance was kind of its own story that had like a story it wanted to tell. It wasn't really what the Clone Wars or the Rebels, which even the Clone Wars I feel is different from Rebels in that it fleshed out characters and stuff, and it kind of helped people to get a better understanding of the prequel trilogy. So hopefully we get something like that for the sequel trilogy at some point. Dio, I thought Dio was a cool character. He'll go to B tier. Babu Frick, I know he had his funny moments, but that was really all he was there for. He didn't really have anything too crazy, so he'll go to C tier. Rose Tico, again, the hate for the character, like, yeah, her character has some questionable decisions and stuff, but I don't hate the character. She'll go to C tier, kind of indifferent on her. Elo Asti, similar, kind of indifferent about the character. General Hux, another one of wasted potential, similar to Phasma. He had, like, The Force Awakens, like, I feel like they set him up and he kind of seemed like he was going to be a turncoat. Even, like, everyone before The Force Awakens, like, oh, this guy looks like he's really a bad guy. Or he's really not a bad guy. Then it seemed like it until The Rise of Skywalker. Like, it builds him up as he's this rough villain. And even in The Rise of Skywalker, it's like, oh, I don't care about helping you guys. I just don't want Kylo to win. So, a bit of a strange turn of events with the character. I feel like there's just so many decisions made as the sequel trilogy went along that kind of wasted the potential. But, yeah. Kato Kokonix, who is played by Billie Lourd, the daughter of Carrie Fisher. I think she's a cool character that definitely has potential to move up. It's just she was a side character, didn't really have a huge role. Kind of like a Wedgie Antilles, basically, of the sequel trilogy. Looks like this is the Collective Knights of Ren, because I don't see any other ones, so I guess it's just the whole group of the Knights of Ren. Again, just characters of wasted potential. Like, they had a cool, like, semi-decent fight scene with Kylo Ren or Ben Solo in The Rise of Skywalker, but other than that, they did absolutely nothing. Their backstory is interesting from the comic books, and I'd like to see more of them, maybe in the sequel trilogy show I mentioned, but until then, they have to go to C tier. Poe Dameron, I do like Poe a lot. He's definitely A tier. I like the character and the story that they went with him. Maz Kanata, kind of I liked her in The Force Awakens, but then her character just got strange as it went along. Like, she, The Last Jedi, it's like she goes from being this wise, force-sensitive being, similar to Yoda, where in The Last Jedi, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm a gunslinging swashbuckler now with a jetpack, handling stuff. Like, it's like, where did that come from? And then she's back to the other version of the character in The Force Awakens, so it's kind of like, I don't know. She'll get a C tier. If she was the Force Awakens version of the character all the way through, should maybe be up higher, but for now, just C tier. Jana, whoops. Character that I think was like in the Rise of Skywalker, I felt like she was a good character with potential to go up, but for now, just C tier. I like the dynamic between her and Finn, and that they're both former stormtroopers, but till we get more development for the character, she'll have to be in C tier. Then we have Dr. Aphra, a character where did she go? Not F tier. I do like Dr. Aphra from the comics. I haven't read too many of the more recent ones, but I did read a few of the earlier ones, so I do like the character. Definitely an Indiana Jones feel, but for now she'll have to go to B tier. If I read more of the comics, I could see her definitely going up to A tier, but for now, B tier. Then we have, I was about to say Bulio. That is not Bulio. Who is this? I know who he is. It's the Sith assassin. I literally just thought of his name. Ochi. That's his name. Yeah, Ochi. Ochi of Bestoon. The Sith assassin that Palpatine sent to kill Rey's parents. Interesting character. Don't really get to see too much about them. I feel like they'll probably show up in a comic book or a novel down the line. So, yeah. Paige Tico, Rose's sister. The character had a lasting impact, I feel, in her scene, and kind of set the emotional stage for Rose and her determination. So I'll put her in C tier. General Pride. I do like him. He kind of reminded me of Director Krennic and Tarkin in some ways, but not A tier. I'll put him in B tier. I thought he was a cool villain in The Rise of Skywalker. BB-8. I do like BB-8, and I think he will go to A tier. A more memorable character from the sequel trilogy. Where is Finn at? Where is Finn? Oh, down there. What's Finn at the bottom? Oh, Salacious Crumb. A classic character. He'll go into B tier with, his boss. Salacious Crumb. Oh, not Snap. B tier for Salacious Crumb. Snap Wexley. I like this character in the Aftermath books, and the fact that they connected the dots and it was Snap in the movie. I thought it was really cool. He'll go to B tier. It's unfortunate that he died, and kind of Poe was the only character that had any reaction. I mean, he's the stepson of Wedge, and Wedge, they didn't show him again from the one shot in the Millennium Falcon. Feels a little, which I guess now that I think about it, it probably would have been confusing to people. Like, Snap dies and Wedge is like, "No, my son," and everyone's like, "Huh?" I feel like it would have been a little odd. So maybe it's better that they didn't show it, but maybe some like offhand, like having like a commemoration showing Wedge. I don't know. DJ. I liked DJ whenever the movie first came out, but now like he's kind of worn off, and it's like it's a little like I felt like it was an interesting character, but now he's kind of one of those who wasted potential again. Question is C tier or D tier? I'll put him in D tier because I don't think he's quite as high as these other characters from the sequel trilogy. Unkar Plutt, he's similar to these characters that I could put here in F tier, but I won't insult him that much. He'll go to D tier. Zori Bliss, another cool character who has potential to go up higher if we learn more about her. Then we have the droids of Dr. Aphra. I feel like they're interesting characters, but again, they'll probably go up above C tier if I was able to read, or if I were to read the comic books. So for now, they will go to C tier. Then we have all these other huts. They're all D tier. Like, none of them are interesting enough to be moved up higher. Mara Jade is a cool character from Legends. I'll put her in A tier. Luke Skywalker's wife, for those who are not aware. Then we have, I think this is TC-14. Kind of their character. I mean, if we're talking Lego Star Wars, she's got a nostalgic impact as being one of the first characters you play as, but in the overall look at Star Wars, C tier. Then it looks like the rest are kind of a mix of, got some Mandalorian characters and then some Legends characters. So yeah, let's look. This is that Jedi girl in the Legends comics. Not really too crazy about her. She'll go to C tier. Then we have Thulm, who is Quinlan Voss, his master. I liked him in the Legends comic books. He'll go to B tier. Then a couple of these Weequay pirates, they go to D tier. This Resistance officer, she's not as high as these other ones. She's kind of just a there background character. Jason Syndulla, I'll put him in C tier. We don't really know much about him, what he does and stuff. I have a feeling he's going to show up. Like, my best guess is he is Hera's co-pilot, but yeah, don't know for sure. Then we have Axe Woves, who's a cool Mandalorian in The Mandalorian. I'll put him in B tier. Frog Lady, C tier. The memes that this character has created is funny, but I don't hate the character, but I don't go, oh, one of my favorite characters in The Mandalorian. Yeah, she gets to C tier. This guy, D tier. Cobb Vanth. I did like Cobb Vanth a lot. In the books and in The Mandalorian, he goes to A tier. Casca Reeves, similar to Axe Woves, she will go to B tier. I kind of feel the same way. Although it is insulting how she talked down to Boba Fett. But we have Lang, who is the mercenary who helped Morgan Elsbeth on Corvus. Kind of a minor character. He doesn't have a huge role. Morgan Elsbeth is the same. She goes to C tier just because we don't really know too much about her other than she was trained by Thrawn. So hopefully that relationship is further explored in a future project down the line. The Mithril, I did not really like this guy. He'll go to D tier. Then we have this officer. He's a decent side character, but he's only in like 1 or 2 scenes in the episode. So yeah, now we get to the Legends characters, and this is where things are a little iffy. I'll just give a brief explanation because I don't want to go too deeply into this. I've played Knights of the Old Republic, but I did not beat it. And beyond that, I played Knights of the Old Republic 2 a little bit. And beyond that, everything else I know is like from just occasional comics I've read and anything else that I know. And that's really the big thing with most of the Legends characters, because I have not really ever read through a lot of Legends content. So yeah, so these characters, a lot of them may go in TBD just because I do not know them. So yeah, like this guy, I do not know who that is. Let me just go through if I do not know who they are and put them there. Like this guy, I know he's Knights of the Old Republic 2, but I don't even know his name, so I don't want to do him. Oh my goodness, a lot of these characters. I know people are going, how do you not know these people? Like, I know her and Cade Skywalker were in some of the expanded, like, post Return of the Jedi comics, but I don't know enough to talk about them. Like, I know that's Lumia, who was Vader's apprentice, I'm pretty sure in some of the comics. And this is XR Kun, who I can keep him in there. I do know a bit about him. Darth Talon. I mean, I know about her, but I don't know enough to rank her accurately, I feel. Not Finn. This guy. Alright, these other ones I think I know enough where I can rank them. So, yeah. There's all the people you can hate on me for not knowing about. Much about, I should say. Bastila. Put her in B tier. If I finally finish Knights of the Republic, she'd probably go up higher. This is Darth Zanna, I'm pretty sure. This is Darth Bane's apprentice. I need to read more of the books to learn more about her. For now, she gets to C tier. That is Zanna, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. HK-47, cool character. My question is, for now, B tier. If I finish Knights of the Republic, he'd probably go higher as well. Darth Nihilus, a cool Sith Lord, but same thing. But then pretty much all these characters are probably going to go to B tier. Darth Malik, same. Darth Malgus, Satil Shan, they both go to B tier as well. Or no, Satil Shan will go to C tier. I don't know as much about her as I do of Bastila. Alright, Jace Malcolm. C tier, I guess. Whoops. Now, the 3 Solo children, Anakin, Jason, and Jaina Solo. Again, have not read the books too much, so I don't know really anything about the characters other than the basic details. Like, I know their fates and stuff. And some key story details. But, yeah, nothing that really pushed them above B tier for me at the moment. This Jedi was in the Old Republic comics. Not Old Republic, the Republic comics from the 2000s. Pretty sure she's the one that lost her arm. Maybe. Or am I thinking of another one? I don't know. She goes to C tier. Then we have Exar Kun or Asherad Het, a Tusken Raider Jedi. Pretty cool character. And as I read more of the comics and stuff and get more of a remembrance of the character, he'd probably go higher. Then we have Paz Vizsla. I mean, I know she's a Mandalorian. She's a bounty hunter. But C tier for now. Kyle Katarn is definitely A tier. One of my favorite characters in Legends. And I can see him going to S tier as well. Now we have Finn, which I know people rag on him for the character and stuff and the lack of development he got. And yeah, I know, but from what we did get, I do like Finn. And he, Poe, and Rey all belong in A tier, I feel. Like, I don't think any of them should be below that. But, yeah, that's the tier list, so... Whew. I'm kind of losing my voice, I feel like, a bit, because I've been talking so much, but... Yeah, that's it. I mean, S tier, my favorite characters. As you can see, we got likes of Boba, R2, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Plo, Yoda, Chewie, Rex, Thrawn, Wedge, Luke, Han, Leia, Vader, and Kylo. Those are my favorite Star Wars characters, I guess you could say. And then these other ones, and like I said, they're characters in A tier who could go up to S tier. Like, if I expanded it, but I just wanted to keep it constrained and not have S tier on the same level as, like, B tier and C tier and stuff. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I feel like they're pretty evenly split from B to D tier between characters I was kind of in the middle on, ones that I did like and ones that I didn't really care about. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the list turned out. And, yeah, there may be some that could be shuffled around after I kind of shifted my prerequisites for each tier, but I'm pretty happy. And like I said, characters, like, it's still a living list, I guess you could say, because they're characters whose stories are still developing and unfolding, like Din Djarin, Moff Gideon, Grogu could all shift. and then characters as I read more, like all the Legends characters probably would shift around because I don't really know too much about them yet. But yeah, that's the list. So let me know what you guys think. Are there characters that you could like completely outraged that I did not put in a higher tier or a lower tier? And yeah, like what you would change with the list with certain characters. So yeah, this has been a fun process, but definitely, like, as you can tell, my energy is a little run down now that we've gotten through it, and I'm glad that we got through it because I enjoyed it, but definitely a process that takes a bit out of you. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I want to do more tier lists, so if there are more things you'd like to see, like the Star Wars movies, the TV shows, I think I've seen some for like arcs of the TV shows, like the different storylines in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and video games. If you'd want me to do one, I definitely would pick one not this expansive, but doing like them based on their strength instead of how I personally like the characters. I feel like would be a fun one to do. And there's something outside of Star Wars, like a Marvel character tier list. I'd be up to do that. DC, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the movies, anything really, I'd be up to do. So let me know what you guys want to see next, and I do have ideas for videos that I would like to do in the future, and one that I may work on is the one that I talked about here with the alternative ending that we could have seen for The Mandalorian Season 2 if things didn't go quite the way they did with Din Djarin, Grogu, and Moff Gideon. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I definitely had fun doing it, but I am glad that it's over and get a little break, let my voice get a bit of a rest, because I mean, I did do a 1 day break in between each episode, so it doesn't wear down my voice too much. But yeah, definitely excited to get back into the uploading grind, because before the last podcast I did and these 4 tier list videos, I'd kind of taken a bit of a break, but now I have the energy and initiative to do more, and I do have an exciting announcement coming this Friday for a series I have planned. So yeah, I got a new microphone too. You may have noticed that there's no static. Hopefully no static as I'm recording this. But yeah, I got a new mic and have some other things I'm trying to get the hang of, and some ideas I have planned for future content. So let me guys know what you thought of the video and what you'd like to see in the future, and I will do my best to get it to you guys. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can stay tuned for all the uploads I've got planned. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.